Get this fixed right here. Oh, there we go. That's better. All right. So we are doing the weekly review. This is for the first week of April. It was a high impact news week. There was news almost every day, including NFP on Friday. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to walk through trade ideas that came across from the team, trades I actually did take, how the week went, and this is all just for educational purposes only. We have a Telegram that we use, but we don't do Signal, so we're not going to post ideas inside of it. We're not telling you take this trade here or anything like that, but it's just a group of people who get together and kind of talk shop, if you will. But overall, I wasn't upset with the week. We're still going with a newer strategy, and really what's nice about it, especially because I switched the broker that I use and all that, these have been really consistent across the board as far as our wins and losses. So anyway, let's jump into it. I'm going to share my screen and we'll have a little fun. So let's do this one. All right. So here we are. Of course, this is going to be start on Bitcoin. So actually earlier this week, so the green line that you see here, this is actually start of the week. We had this nice little dip that came down through. I got in on it and I almost got stopped out. It's like super close. Like it's a pip off, which I was pretty thankful for. I got out once it came back to break even. I actually did get out. So to kind of give you guys an idea of what I do with this whenever I take a trade, whether I take the trade or it's a trade idea, I always mark it up on the charts. And I'll start off with something that is, broader. So I'll put my stop loss in here, and then I'll do something like a 1-to-1, or typically I'll make it a 2-to-1. And the 2-to-1 that I've got inside of this, it came down, obviously played around, then got out of break even. So when I get out of the trade, I move this over. And this is part of my educational side of things that I do for me to look at. It's like, okay, I got in this trade. Why didn't it work out? Why did it not play out? What did I miss in the analysis that made the most sense? In fact, I'll make this a little bit easier. We'll just kind of walk through the trades themselves. Just to make it easier. But anytime I get inside that, and then if I end up if it goes from a 2-to-1 to like a 1-to-1, I'll move this after the fact just to kind of know what I did inside of it. But my trades always start the same. Anytime I get into it, I start as a 2-to-1 aspect of where my stop loss is. I go 2 up on that one. So Bitcoin, this is actually a trade I'm in now. I'm probably going to end up out of it. It's not really, it's just consolidating right now. I'm going to like to get at least a break even, and then we'll kind of go from there. So I'm still in this one. This one I got out right at break even. So BTC wasn't my friend this week. Ethereum, there was a trade idea that we got that I ended up getting out of. I got into it as it dipped down into this zone right here. So our entry points were from here to here. And ended up getting out of it a little bit after 1 o'clock. So once again, the same thing where this was a trade idea. So someone else had their positions. Dipped down to here. This was my TP1, my TP2, and my TP3. Once it hit this TP1 right here, I let it ride a little bit because I really thought it might break through, but it did not. So I ended up getting out after it started to pull away from that TP1 idea. Then we'll head on down through gold. So gold had a couple trades on it this week. Now, once again, these weren't my trade ideas. These were from someone in the group. They did a great job of this one. This was zone 1. It was a 3-to-1. I did not take this one because I was not playing any bearish pools on gold. I was only looking for buys. So I didn't take this one, but it's still a solid trade idea that came through. Super talented stop loss. Waited for this wick here that was at the 9 o'clock candle. 9:30 candle came up, found liquidity, and dropped off for a little bit. This is one I did take, which was a great trade idea that came across. Same thing. Obviously, it's pulled down into it and then shot right back up. So it was a great 2.5, if you will. It did come up, play back down, and I thought about getting out, but I said I'm going to hold it just for a little bit longer because I was watching the markets. This is also on a light news day. US 30 didn't play anything on it, but there were some really good call outs this week from sell ideas. A couple of the guys on the team caught some really big bangers on this one, especially on these drop offs. This all had to do with one of the federal presidents who was speaking. Forgot his name, and he just tanked the market. he had some things to say. Oil, there were a couple of trade ideas on oil, but I'm still fairly new to trading it, so I don't take a whole lot with it. I just like to watch it. We'll do markups when they come across, and then we'll kind of go from there. And then as we look through, we'll go through all the pairs, even though most of them were not on the trade list this week. So like Euro USD and GBP USD wasn't on my trade list. So this was a trade idea that someone else sent out. I marked it up. Obviously, this did play out across the board. Like if we were to like say, hey, it went the distance, it would have been a 2-for-1, which would have been great. But I ended up marking this one up, and it wasn't on my list to trade, so I didn't trade it. USD JPY, didn't take anything on it this week. USD CAD. We had some call ideas on it, but once again, it wasn't on my no trade list, so I didn't trade it. But still, we have the perk side of being in a group is you have people who watch different pairs and stuff like that. Like I have specific pairs I'll look for every week. AUD USD. So the funny thing about it is in the group, I actually did some markups on USD, on AUD USD on this big drop before NFP. It's just the way that it played up. Like it came nice little pullback here, but I was looking for sells for the week on this one. So this is a great way that it did it. Pour all the way back up into this on Thursday, leading up to NFP drop. So I actually expect this one to continue dropping this week. NZD USD. So I did take some trades on this one this week. They were Thursday and Friday. So explain what this is. This trade, I got into it a little bit early. It was still pulling up, getting ready for the NFP drop. So I was negative for a while. I've done it. This is a massive stop loss on purpose because I was at nighttime. I ended up pulling it back down once this drop started to happen. So I was in this trade, but since I was in the negative, I found a better position here. So I actually went on a higher lot size on this one. And so once I came down and it pulled back to that entry zone, this is where I got confirmation. And right here, like as soon as it dropped down here and then pulled back and then dropped off of that, I was like, I'm going to stay in this trade for a while. I got out of this trade right here. So if we were to pull this back, it was a super small win. This one I actually stayed all the way through and hit TP for a solid 1.5. So got out of this trade early, a little bit of win. Got this as a solid win on NZD USD. And obviously it pulled back. I'm still expecting this one to drop down a little bit more this week. We'll see what the dollar does. GBP, JPP. So this one, I took a trade earlier this week. I got stopped out on it. This was actually right at news. It started to play out pretty well, and then the news happened and skyrocket. So I knew that at some point in time it was going to pull back. I got into it. I marked this up, and I was really pissed about it. I marked this up, and I was ready for it. And then I was in a meeting in the morning time, so I missed my entry. And I don't chase plays. If I miss the entry, it's fine. It's not a big deal. But someone else in the group caught this, and it was an absolute drop off. So kudos to Julia for catching up. So I had this is my loss right here. I had it marked up, did not take it. God, I wish I took it though, because that was just one that was excellent. GBP NZD. So I marked this one up. This was a trade I did not take, but we were watching it. We were looking for buys for the week. Had a nice little pullback in here. Someone else in the group did catch it. I marked it up, but it's obviously still in that zone. So there's still a chance they could come back down, tag the entry, and go back up. But once again, just a great markup that we did. And keep going from it. GBP, Jeff didn't take anything out. There were some really good plays in here that tied into different news scenarios. Just once again, understanding the fundamentals, what they were. Let's see. What else did we take? We didn't take a whole lot this week. Did a ton of markups, though. A lot of that's just with my schedule as it was this week, it was not pleasant for me to find entries, or I missed entries, and that was always sucks. But AUD NZD. So this was a trade right here. Got out early. I got in early on this one, and then it kind of played around. It just continued to consolidate all week. This was a trade that came out. That came out. Excellent trade. I did take this one. It was a great 1-to-1 on that one. CAD, JBP. So this one I got in on Friday because I'm looking for buys. A nice little pullback here. I'm still in this one. So I'm waiting to see what happens when the market's open. It may continue to pull back more, and that's fine. I may get out of it, but this was one that I am in currently, obviously in drawdown, but still looking for that one to pull back or go back up. Chad Jeff, nothing. NZD CAD, there it is. So this is one I got stopped out on this one. This was the second loss I took. Once again, I really looking for sales, and obviously this thing just want to continue to pull back more, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. Anytime that happens, it's okay. It just means the market's not ready to drop yet, but I'm still looking for sales on that one. And then Jeff. So yeah, that was the whole week. It wasn't some gangbuster of a week, but it was a good week. Took a couple wins, took a couple losses. Lots of really good markups that came through to see what they look like. I just put my indicators back on the chart so I could go back through and take a look at this. So this is NZD CAD. So once again, it looks great. I'm still expecting this one to pull back more. We just had the 50 EMA crossover, the 200 EMA, which kind of means it may actually be reversing inside. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I still feel like it's going to pull back down just because it had this nice, it's already in that draw. So this is just a great little pullback that it's doing. So yeah, anyway, that is the short version of this week. It wasn't some gangbuster of a week, but it was just a good week all in all. Once again, I really like doing markups, even if I don't take the trade, but I see the trade idea because it helps me understand what the markets are doing and what I'm looking for inside the markets for future trades. So that's it. You guys have a great weekend.